Y'all doing? Let's get these NFL Week 2 scores out the way, shall we? Let me start. Kansas City over the Chargers. Caught that game. Patrick Mahomes was poised. Chargers typical. I know the Chargers are one of the most frustrating NFL teams ever because I go back to Air Coyer with Dan Fouts, Stan Humphries in the 90s, who did get them to a Super Bowl appearance, but then they had Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. And now you got Justin Herbert. And for all the air attack and aerodynamics, it's been one consistency. They are their own worst enemy. Dumb plays, wrong timing, and they beat themselves. One of the most funnest teams I've ever seen, and one of the most disappointing franchises. And that interception was a difference in the game. And Patrick Mahomes, he's still a benchmark. New England over Pittsburgh in a lackluster game with two tired quarterbacks. You got two great coaches and Bill Belichick and Mike Tomlin, but the quarterback play was just a matter of who's going to have the last ball and who could dominate the line. New England beat them. So that's all I can say about it. Nothing special there. Jets over Cleveland. One of them games somebody was going to win. Both teams are kind of like a deer in headlights. And so the Jets, Joe Flacco, had just enough over Brisket. But, Cleveland's going to be competitive. I mean, imagine if Deshaun Watson was playing. Interesting. San Francisco over Seattle. Trey Lance got hurt early. Jimmy Garoppolo came in. The Seahawks were a fluke last week against Denver. Geno Smith looked like his old third-tier clipboard self. And Jimmy G, he beats up on whack teams. That's what they did. They just pounded Seattle's behind. Dallas over Cincinnati. I like Joe Burrow a lot. However, they don't get an offensive line. He's headed to Andrew Luckville. Cooper Rush did enough for Dallas to win. They nearly blew the game. The game was a lot closer than it should have been. And you sack a quarterback 6 times and you're at home and you struggle just to pull off. Can't really say, but I know Joe Burrow got a lot of pressure. They need to get an offensive line or it's gonna be a short term there. Jacksonville spanked Indiana, shut them out. Was Trevor Lawrence this good or Matt Ryan over the hill? It looks a little bit of both, but Jacksonville's gonna be a decent middle second tier team this year. They're going to give some teams some headaches, so don't be surprised if they can get 7 or 8 wins. They could be a problem, but Indy looks bad. Matt Ryan looks like he ain't been the same since that Super Bowl hangover. He looked done. Detroit over Washington. That's a team that could be feisty offensively. Not much on defense, but Washington, Carson Wentz until he stays healthy. But this is kind of like not much to do about nothing until I see more. Rams over the Falcons. The Super Bowl champs got back on the track against a depleted, broke down team. They should win that game. It was a little bit closer. So, Giants over Carolina. Are the Giants surprising or not? We're gonna find out. They play Dallas next week. See if their defense is good and Saquon Barkley if he can stay healthy, and Daniel Jones don't make mental mistakes. Keep your eye on Brian Dable, who was the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator. Could be interesting. Denver over Houston. Yeah, but it wasn't like you thinking Russell Wilson looked old. He didn't age like Cam Newton did in New England. And that Nathan Hackett looked like more like Buddy Hackett. Broncos might have problems at quarterback. Don't look that good. They look like they're not on the same. The coach can't get his plays in. He just seems off. Green Bay over Chicago, no surprise. Aaron Rodgers, they smashed Chicago. And I do like Fields, but Chicago just too light in the cakes to match with Green Bay. Just ain't there. Philly over Minnesota. And Jalen Hurts looks scary. All this Kirk Cousins MVP talk. They do have a decent offense, but they're getting their butt smashed. And the game for me, of course, is the Buffalo Bills, who happen to be my team. They tore in Tennessee a new one. All them used Derrick Henry just punching them in the mouth. 13 carries, 25 yards. Josh Allen, him and Patrick Mahomes are 1-1A. Buffalo and Kansas City are the two best teams overall going. AFC and maybe all NFL. That's going to be a heavyweight fight. Round 3's coming. That's all you got to look forward to because those are the two best teams. And the Bills' defense, and you knew Ryan Tannehill wasn't going to do nothing. He's a third-tier quarterback masquerading as a first who's really like a second backup. You shut Derrick Henry down, and you know Tennessee can't see this side of 17 points. They're good for maybe a touchdown or two, and if they can cough the ball and keep you close, then they got a chance that they can turn you over. If they can't do that, you saw what happened. It was a 7-7 game. And then Buffalo just waxed that behind with the last 34. Not even close. Last game, Tampa Bay over New Orleans. Tampa Bay won. Mike Evans got into some fisticuffs, got a game suspension, but that was a big win for them. And Jameson Winston, known for giving up the game, if he could ever be consistent, I'll tell you. But anyway, Tampa Bay's 2-0. We'll see. So that's my wrap up for week 2 in the NFL. How did your team do? Please let me know your thoughts and your takes. And I do respond, thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for one another. And season so far looks kind of predictable. The haves have it, and the have-nots, there are plenty of them. A lot of help is needed on offensive lines. Running game is being abused, and it's not being going over too well. I'm going to tell you, there ain't that many great teams. There's less than a handful that are really great. Everybody else is just pretending. I'm out.